So this time, we're going to be taking a look from the 6-inch Avengers line. We're going to be taking a look at Hawkeye. Now, Hawkeye is really one of my favorite Avengers and favorite Marvel characters. So I was really glad when I heard he was going to be in the Avengers. You know, his little cameo in Thor. And while I did kind of want to see him in a suit more reminiscent of his actual comic book appearance, this was pretty good. And I think this is one of the better figures out of the whole Avengers line. There are a few reuses from previous lines, but the standout, I think, between all of them is the Hawkeye. Well, let's take a look at the package first here. You do get a little bit of a write-up there, which is something they don't do. They're not doing too much these days. He, of course, does come with his collector's base. All the Avengers figures do. And it looks like, starting in 2013, all the Marvel Legends figures are going to come with bases like this as well. At least that's the way they were shown at the San Diego Comic-Con. Now, those may have been preliminary packaging with these in as placeholders just to show off how something would look in the package. I'm not exactly sure if they are going to go through with that, but, you know, getting a base would be cool. You know, especially the way these are interconnected and the ability to change it up. So it'd be nice to get more of these without having to buy repeat of Avengers figures. Other accessories, of course, being a archer, he's going to need a bow, so he comes with a bow. And it's pretty neat. Pretty neat. It does look like this is meant to be pulled back, but it is fairly rigid plastic. And I like that they just left this. They didn't give you an arrow, because I guess if they did give you an arrow, they would have to put it together on here solid, like Mattel did with a lot of their archers. They had the bow and the arrow joined together, and I really hated having to clip the arrow off and sort of ruin the way the bow was molded. But it's nice that we do get a bow without having to worry about that strange rule that you can't have a bow and an arrow together for some reason. And maybe that was just Mattel's rules, because I think Hasbro did have bows and arrows that were separate. Yeah, I think they did. Anyway, his quiver is removable. You get a pegs through this little strap thing and into his back. It is a little bit hard because of the plastic there. Can get bent when you try and put it in. But it is very nicely detailed. You can see sort of like the shafts of the arrows and his little well, you can kind of get an idea of his little rotating thing where it selects different heads on the bottom there. And like I said, unfortunately though, there is no arrows sticking out here, so he is looking a little bit plain there in that regards, and there are no free arrows to for him to hold, so you might have to steal arrows from some other figure somewhere and see if they work with Hawkeye. Now for the sculpt, like I said before, this is one of the, if not the, best figure out of this whole line, simply because the way he's sculpted and the details they got into the costume. You know, you can see the texture of his suit here, as well as the pants having a different type of texture, and the details painted on there, like the belt buckles and the boot buckles. Very nice. You can see laces on the boots, and you can see his little piping here on the sides and the way they are in the back of the knees to allow movement there. Very nice, the little shield logo on there. His zipper, very nicely painted. His sunglasses, I think it's a very good likeness to Jeremy Renner. Although I'm curious as to why they had him with his sunglasses on. He barely wears them in the movie. And granted, it is during the action sequence, so I guess they do have a reason for putting it on, but I think it might have been neat just to have them off. You know, I'm a big fan, like I said, I'm a big fan of Hawkeye, so, I mean, even if they could have done, like, the kind of bandoliers that Hawkeye has, with the arrowheads running down the sides, vaguely in the form of an H. Here he's got sort of like this kind of arrow-wish design to his costume. You know, having an H design would have been pretty neat, just to tie in to the classic costume. Well, this particular one leaves a bit to be desired. You can see there's paint on his hands there from the purple paint from his glove, and particularly on this hand, where it seems they wanted to, they got a little overzealous with the spray paint for the gray, like wrist guard here for the bow, and they just went nuts with it. So it's a little bit over painted, and but that's it. Oh, I should, yeah, I forgot to mention at the beginning, this was one of the figures that I couldn't find at my Walmart, and thankfully Aetherus69 was good enough to watch out for me and was able to pick up a second Hawkeye, which is, I guess, a pretty big occurrence. Let alone to get one, he found two, and managed to buy that and send this one out to me. And so thank you very much once again. And getting back into the figure, looking at his articulation, it is very well articulated. And his head, of course, standard kind of Marvel Legends, forward and back, left and right, side to side, very nice. Arms do go all the way around, but they are pushed out a little bit by the shape of the armor or uniform at the shoulders there. They do go in and out, rotate at the bicep, double elbows, and he's got these wrists that rotate, and on this one will move forward and back, and on the other one in and out to simulate holding and using a bow and arrow. So you can get him some pretty cool poses with that. His torso is an upper torso articulation, left and right, forward and back a little bit, as well as side to side. The legs are pretty neat. They're just easily forward and back. You don't have to worry about rotating this joint to get his legs forward, which I'm a fan of. And they also move side to side, out and in, rotate at the upper thigh. He's got double knee joints. His feet move forward and back, and they have the ankle pivot here that started showing up in both Marvel Universe and Marvel Legends, and they've adapted it to this line. I think all the figures in this line have it. I highly recommend that if you find this guy at your Walmart, because he is Walmart exclusive, you should go ahead and just go ahead and pick him up. He is one of the hardest of these guys to find, and you know, he's one of the more wanted characters, more sought after characters from the line. So you know, if you do see him on shelves, I don't think he'll stay there for long. So don't miss out on your opportunity to pick him up, or either for yourself or for someone else, like my good buddy A69 did. And so I guess that's it, and until my next video, I'll see you.